Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving straight into that wild, seemingly magical bond between humans and wild animals. Have you ever felt that strange, almost electric tension when you lock eyes with an animal in the wild? Well, today, we're exploring a deeply fascinating concept. We're going to answer a really profound question using science, jaw-dropping true stories, and a deep look into the hidden psychology of animals. So, stick with me, because what we uncover today is absolutely going to change how you look at every single animal you ever encounter. To kick things off, I want you to picture this exact scenario pulled from our source material. A man is walking alone through a dense forest. Suddenly, he spots a wolf. It's wounded, it's in pain, and it's frantically trapped in a hunter's snare. Now, the man makes the incredibly risky decision to move closer, slowly, carefully. And the wolf reacts exactly how you'd expect. It snarls, it bares its teeth, literally fully prepared to fight for its life. But as the man continues his careful approach, the wild predator simply stops fighting. It goes completely still, almost as if it somehow knew the guy was there to help. And that exact moment raises a truly fascinating question, one that sits right at the very heart of this explainer. Is it actually possible for a wild animal to instinctively know you aren't a threat? Can they really sense your intentions across that vast divide of species? Let's look at another documented incident that absolutely stunned the world. Off the coast of Costa Rica back in 2011, a shark got hopelessly tangled up in a heavy fisherman's net. A diver spotted the struggling animal and made a split-second life-or-death decision. He just dove right in and started cutting the net free with his bare hands. Now, at any moment, that stressed, thrashing shark could have just turned and attacked. But it didn't. Instead, the shark remained perfectly still, acting almost entirely cooperative, like it fundamentally understood what was happening. Now, at the time, a lot of experts quickly dismissed this. They just called it a mere coincidence. But the footage of that dive went massively viral, viewed by hundreds of millions of people globally. Why? Because deep down, we really want to believe it proves something. Humanity wants to believe that a silent, unspoken language exists between us and them. And as we're about to see, science says we just might be right. Section 1, Reading the Signals. Okay, let's dive into the actual science here. Because the truth is, animals aren't out there just reading our complex human emotions. What they're actually doing is reading highly distinct biological signals. They're constantly processing data from their environment at lightning speed to figure out if we're a friend or a foe. Researchers have completely pinpointed exactly what data these animals are looking for. They've identified 3 specific, measurable factors that animals instantly pick up on during any encounter with a human. It's basically an instant biological checklist: your body language, your voice, and your smell. Let's break down that first signal, body language. When a person adopts submissive behaviors, crouching down to look smaller, moving incredibly slowly so you don't trigger that chase reflex, and purposely avoiding direct eye contact, you're proving to a wild animal's brain that you are not a predator getting ready to strike. It instantly de-escalates the whole situation. Then, when it comes to the second signal, your voice, pitch and pace are everything. Our source notes that wildlife rescuers purposefully use low, gentle, and steady tones when approaching injured wildlife. And this isn't just a performance for the documentary cameras, right? It's a proven tactic, because soft, slow sounds actually biologically calm an animal's nervous system down. And then there's smell, which is perhaps the most primal signal of the whole shebang. It all comes down to cortisol. That's the stress hormone your body naturally releases when you're terrified. You can't control it. And animals like wolves, deer, and even our own domestic dogs have olfactory senses so powerful, they can literally smell your fear by detecting that sudden spike in cortisol. If you're terrified, they biologically know it before you even open your mouth. Section 2, the signs of empathy. As we move forward in our analysis, we find that the connection goes so much deeper than just reading physical sensory cues. We're now crossing over into the incredible, hidden psychology of wild animals. So, here's the crucial point. Animals possess what are known as mirror neurons. These are the literal brain cells physically responsible for empathy. For a really long time, scientists arrogantly thought these brain cells were uniquely human. But modern science has since found them in chimpanzees, in dogs, and get this, even in birds. This means they have the biological hardware required to feel distress when they watch someone else in pain. And this brilliantly illustrates a massive shift in how we understand wildlife. Animals aren't just reacting to our signals like programmed little robots. Because they have these mirror neurons, on some fundamental level, they may actually be feeling the emotional distress of others. They are fully capable of true biological empathy. Section 3. Defying the wild. Let's look at how this hidden psychology translates into real-world documented encounters that completely defy any traditional explanation, because history is absolutely full of these miraculous moments. Consider this unbelievable case of an elephant in Thailand. This poor elephant was badly injured, and a dedicated veterinarian spent weeks treating her, really earning her trust. Well, 20 full years later, that exact same vet visited the sanctuary. Without any prompting whatsoever, the elephant recognized him. She walked straight up to the guy and gently pressed her massive head right against his chest. A literal memory of kindness, retained for 2 decades. Or take this astonishing observation from researchers in Africa. They watched in absolute disbelief as an adult lioness aggressively protecting a baby buffalo calf, literally fending off other predators to keep it safe. And the most mind-blowing part of this whole thing? This was the exact same buffalo calf that the lioness had knocked down just 2 weeks earlier. Her instincts seemingly just shifted from predator to protector. And of course, no explainer on this topic would be complete with the legendary story of Christian the lion. He was a lion cub who was, remarkably, bought from a department store in London, raised lovingly by 2 young men, and eventually released back into his natural habitat in the wild in Kenya to live as a true predator. A full year after his release, his former caretakers actually traveled to Kenya to find him. Now, there was absolutely no guarantee of their safety here. Christian was a massive, wild apex predator by this point. But when he saw them, Christian ran toward the men at full speed. And instead of attacking, he leaped up, wrapped his huge paws around them, and just held on in this loving embrace. This wasn't some movie script. This was a fully documented, real-world event. Which brings us right back around to our core, profound question. Looking at everything we've just covered, do these animals actually consciously understand that a human wants to help them, or are they simply just reading our non-threatening biological signals? Well, science tells us it's actually a combination of both mechanisms working together beautifully. And the source material argues that the difference between the two actually matters way less than you might think. Think about it. A wild animal might not possess the inner monologue to think, oh wow, this human is trying to save me. But its brain, its instincts, and its entire nervous system process all of our calming behaviors, all of our submissive body language and low tones, to reach one definitive, life-saving conclusion. This human is not a predator. This human is not a threat. And out in the wild, that conclusion alone is enough to foster a connection. Section 4. Let go of fear. So why does all of this matter to us? How do we take this incredible science out of the research papers and actually apply it to our own lives and our future encounters with nature? The big takeaway presented in our source is incredibly simple, but it's powerful. We don't need wild animals to magically understand our English language. We don't even need them to logically comprehend our good intentions. We just need to drop our aggression, slow our movements right down, soften our voices, and honestly, most importantly, let go of our own fear. When we do that, something fundamental shifts in the air, and nature simply does the rest. Because ultimately, when instinct and nature take over, these magnificent creatures aren't listening to what you say. They're not reading your words. They are, quite literally, reading your heart. I would absolutely love to hear about your own experiences. Have you ever had a profound, unexplainable moment with a wild animal? Drop your story in the comments below. And hey, if this explainer made you see animals in a whole new light, please hit that like button, share it with a fellow animal lover, and subscribe for more deep dives into the world's most